Great googly moogly Tuesday, March the 28th. My name is Sean Carrier. Thank you for watching Bet Edge. We're off a big game winner last night in the association. The San Antonio Spurs, we told you they were going to cover those 5 points. I believe they ended up winning the game by 30 or something ridiculous like that. Just cruising to a win. We've got another game here in the association that we expect to be another Bet Edge winner. Maybe not as easy as that Spurs one, but it should be a winner nonetheless. We're seeing a soft point spread line here released in the association today, and we're going to look to attack it. So let's dive right in. The pick today, the Miami Heat traveling to Detroit to take on the Pistons in what should be a battle for that 8th and final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. And Pistons 3-point underdogs on their home floor against the Miami Heat. I don't know. That sounds a little crazy to me. So let's dive right in. Let's start breaking this game down. Miami's road record here, 14-22. Not the road record of a team you want to be laying 3 points with on the road, especially when we look at Detroit's home record of 23-14. That's the home record of a very good basketball team. As you can see by their overall record, 34-40, they're not a great basketball team, but for some reason they play that way at home. Night and day, road and away, as you can see here, 11-26 on the road. They're terrible on the road, but they're really good at home. And they're at home tonight, and for the life of me, I do not understand why they're a 3-point underdog on their home floor. If we look at the recent meetings, it really shows you the overreaction in this line. These two teams have played 3 times earlier this year. Detroit winning 2 of those 3, 1 in Detroit and 1 in Miami. And if we look at these lines here for the games in Detroit, I mean, Detroit a 4.5-point favorite earlier on in the year, and then all of a sudden today, they're 3-point underdogs. That's a 7.5-point swing. I think that's it's just too much of an overreaction to what this Detroit team did in the last week. I guess people are conceiving it as Detroit throwing the towel in, but they might have just been a bad road team playing terribly on the road. We'll get to that in just a second. There's some things here we want to highlight here in Miami's recent form. Everyone aware of what the Heat have been doing here in the calendar year of 2017. One of the best teams record-wise in the NBA since the calendar has turned over. But they seem to be faltering of late. As you can see here, they're coming off 2 straight-up losses, one a blowout loss on their home floor to the Toronto Raptors. And they've actually lost 3 of their last 4 games. Their only win coming against a Phoenix team that's actively trying to lose games. They're sitting their best players. I mean, them and the Lakers are in an absolute race for that bottom spot in the Western Conference. They're both doing everything they can to lose games. But nonetheless, this Miami team, there's something going on here, and I believe it has to do with this Goran Dragic injury. They released an article today in which they admitted that the training staff is having to poke holes into his shoe to alleviate the pressure on that injured foot. You can see a definite drop in his production over these last 4 games, and he has admitted that the foot is definitely bothering him, and it's actually really, really hurting him in these games. So much so to the point where they're having to put holes in his shoes. I mean, I've never heard of that one before, but you got to give it to the kid. I mean, he's trying absolutely everything he can do to stay on the floor and help his team win. And I mean, that's why this Miami team has been good of late. I mean, they're so scrappy. They do everything they can do to win games. But it seems to be catching up with them right now. They're missing Waiters, and with this Dragic injury right now, you're definitely seeing a drop in the level that Miami is playing at, and the point spread line has not caught up to it yet. So it seems like a great time to sell Miami at its highest point. That stock is definitely at its highest, and it looks like a good time to sell. And this Detroit team, I mean, you're definitely getting Detroit stock at its absolute lowest. A great time to buy Detroit stock. Getting 3 points on their home floor is crazy. I mean, it has everything to do with this. These 4 losses in their last 4 games to Brooklyn, Chicago, Orlando, and New York. They were favored in all 4 of those games. They should have won most of them. 2, if not 3 of those 4 games they should have won. That's for sure. But they've only won 11 games on the road all year long. I mean, I'm not sure why we expected them to all of a sudden turn into a road warrior just because they needed these games. I mean, I'm sure they've been trying to win road games all year long. It just doesn't seem to work out for them very well. They're just not a very good road team. But let's not forget that just here in this same calendar month of March, this same Detroit team was able to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers on their home floor. A game in which they were only 4.5-point underdogs, and they're almost all the way here against Miami. And there's no way I'm ready to put Miami in the point spread class of the Cleveland Cavaliers, which is what is happening today. I mean, it's a clear overreaction to these last 4 games. It's not Detroit quitting. It's just a bad road team playing bad on the road. I mean, that's what it is to me. I don't think this Detroit team is going to throw the towel in on their home floor tonight. The referees for tonight's affair, we've got Benny Adams, Kevin Cutler, and Mark Davis. Not a terrible crew. I don't mind any of those gentlemen. Nothing too much in the day's rest here as both teams coming off that NBA average 1 day's rest. The numbers are super identical, though, as you can see here. I mean, those are basically the exact same numbers, and their record very similar also. But we're just not getting that home court edge built into this point spread line, which we definitely should be. I mean, Detroit is a very good home team, 24-11. Injury report from Miami. This injury I told you about, Goran Dragic, I'm sure the kid's going to give it everything he can and try to give it a go tonight. But he's definitely feeling that injury, and they're without Waiters tonight for sure. They're definitely going to miss his absence sooner or later. Injury report for Detroit. Reggie Bullock questionable. Reggie Jackson out. This is probably another reason why this line is the way it is. But if you actually look at the numbers, Detroit is a better basketball team without Reggie Jackson. When Reggie Jackson's on the floor, their defense is in the bottom 10 in the NBA. And when Reggie Jackson is not on the floor for the Detroit Pistons, they're a top 10 defense in the National Basketball Association. Quite a swing without Reggie. And for anyone that's been watching this team, the point guard minutes have been getting closer and closer to a split with him and Ish Smith as the days have gone along. I mean, Stan Van Gundy has kind of been throwing the towel in on Reggie Jackson here. Ish Smith basically has assumed the starting point guard minutes for this team over the last little while. So I'm not going to look for Detroit to miss his absence too much here. I actually think they're a better team with Ish Smith at the helm. So we'll breeze through the summary real quick. We've hit just about all of these points. The line's an overreaction to what the Pistons have done in their last 4 games. They're really only 1.5 games back of Miami, as you can see here. If they win this game, they're only half a game back and out of that 8th and final playoff spot. Not the time to be throwing the towel in, especially when you have a home game here. And the Pistons are much better on the road, as their record indicates. I believe it's a 15-game difference. As I said, they're better without Reggie Jackson, and this Goran Dragic injury definitely seems to be hindering the Heat, definitely in their last 4 games, as they're losers of 3 of their last 4 overall. And as you can see here on the stat graphic, Detroit, if you just give them that 3-point home court advantage, they should be favored in this game by 2 points, not getting 3 points at home. So we're gonna eat that up all day. You give us a soft line like this, we're going to attack it. It's enough for us to put it on the board. The Detroit Pistons at home plus 3 points in a game they should be fully motivated. It should be a playoff game. You should get the best version of Detroit here on their home floor. So take the 3 points, grow the bankroll. We really hope this video helps all of your selections in the NBA tonight. Give us a follow on Twitter. That's our homepage at bet_edge. Everything we do gets posted up there, and it's all absolutely free. So follow us over on Twitter at bet_edge. I'll post a link in the description below. As always, thank you for tuning in. Good night and good luck.